Hey, good morning. Chanukah Maamar is Thursday night, so we're going to begin a Maamar. It's printed in Malukit Beis. I'm not sure what page it's on there, if it's the same. Here it's Kuf Samach Beis, Tanur Rabbanan. I know it's Malukit Beis, I just don't know over there what page it is. Okay, so this Maamar was said, Motzei Shabbos, Pashas Miketz, Shabbos Chanukah, Tafshin Lamed Ches. I remember the Maamar? All right. So the Gemara says, Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in a Braitza, Mitzvahs Ner Chanukah, the mitzvah of Chanukah, of lighting candles. So there's a machlekes. Beishamai Emrim, Beishamai says, Yom Rishon, Madlik Shmeina. On the first day we light 8 candles, and Mikan ve'elech, Peiches ve'elech. And then the next days you diminish. So you go from 8 candles, 7 candles, 6 candles, etc. And Beis Hillel says the exact opposite. Yom Rishon Madlik Achas. The first day you light 1 candle, Mikan ve'elech, and the next day is Ma'aseh ve'elech, you continue. Now, what's the reason of Beishamai? Time in the Beishamai says Kineged Parei HaChag. This is like when they would bring the karbonis, so they would have 13, 12, 11, etc., etc. So they would diminish in the karbonis they would bring on the Chag. Time of the Beis Hillel, and the reason of Beis Hillel is the Malam B'Kedesh, that we go up in Kedusha and we do not descend. Malam B'Kedesh ve'Emirid. And this is what the Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis tells us. Now we do a quick Kedusha's Admar Azok, and it's known the Diak, the Alter Rebbe in Teira Eir. In Miketz, he's medayik and he says like this: Ma'in ner Chanukah. I think we learned this Maamar last year. The Alter Rebbe asks, Ma'in ner Chanukah leParei HaChag. What's the connection between the candles of Chanukah to the karbonis that they brought on Sukkot, let's say? We're proud that Machikosav created Kedushas Admar Tzemach Tzedek, especially what the Tzemach Tzedek says, Shegam Beis Hillel lePligi. That Beis Hillel Thank you. It says like this. He says the Tzemach Tzedek says that Beis Hillel doesn't even argue with Beishamai. Rather, Rak Mishum the Malam B'Kedesh. Shegam Beis Hillel lePligi Rak Mishum the Malam B'Kedesh. That Beis Hillel, the only reason why he argues with Beishamai is because, or the only reason is because Malam B'Kedesh ve'Emirid. Now, now explains in some places, this is brought down in Eratera, other Maamarim it's brought down, that the connection between Chanukah and Sukkot is that both of them are 8 days. The Misbar Shmeina, Mishtashlus. 8 shows on higher than Seder Shtashlus. Seder Shtashlus is 7 days of the week. When you want to bring out something which is higher than the world, higher than the chain order of Ishtashlus, so we use the number 8. So that's the connection between the two. Chanukah has 8, and Sukkot is 8 days. So the Rebbe says, this itself needs clarification. What's the connection between Sukkot and Chanukah to higher than Seder Ishtashlus? And because of that, they're both 8 days. Right. So we have the Diyuk of the Alter Rebbe. What's the connection between Ner Chanukah and Sukkot? Especially that Tzemach Tzedek says that Beis Hillel only argues because of Malam B'Kedesh, and what's explained in other places that both are 8. We have to understand Hagufa why is Sukkot and Chanukah 8. The Rebbe says Harizeh shetiknu Neres Chanukah. What's the reason why they instituted the Neres Chanukah? Why do we light the candles? Because of the candles in the Beis HaMikdash. And since in the Beis HaMikdash there was 7 candles, so the question is, so if the reason why we're lighting the candles is commemorate the candles of the Beis HaMikdash, there was only 7 candles. So why are we lighting 8 candles? Now, another question. We have to understand. This that we are comparing, the Neres Chanukah, Now, when we're comparing the Neiros Chanukah, it's not Sukkot specifically, which is to the Karbonis of Sukkot. The Lecher seemingly had Neiros Chanukah shayachim lahamneda, Neiros Chanukah mipnei, and Nesrei b'Neiros Hamaneda. Now, the next of the Neiros of Chanukah have a connection to the Menorah. Neiros Chanukah was because of the nest that happened in the Neiros of Menorah. And when it came to the karbonis of Sukkot, they brought it like every carbon on the Mizbeach. Now, the Menorah and the Mizbeach are two separate kelim in the Beis HaMikdash. Especially what's explained in Kabbalah and Chassidus, the Neiros or Karbonis, Avedas Shenis, and candles and Karbonis are different Avedas in life. Va'ad sheshalcha Neiros k'delim shalahem Karbonis, until the Eibusher tells about Aaron, he tells him that your Aveda of lighting the candles is greater than Karbonis, and Einim b'teila Elam, they'll never be extinguished ever. And this is what Rashi brings down in Chumash as well. So, what the Rebbe's question is, we're comparing Neiros Chanukah dafka to Parei HaChag. Neiros Chanukah is because of the miracle that they had by Neiros of the Menorah. Parei HaChag has to do with bringing karbonos on the Mizbeach. The Mizbeach and the Menorah are two separate, first of all, kelim in the Beis HaMikdash, and Aveda, it's very different. In fact, the Aveda of Menorah is a lot higher than karbonos. We have to understand. The mitzvah of lighting Neiros Chanukah, the halacha is, and the Gemara brings down, from when the sun starts to set. So it's known, the diuk over here, the Neiros HaMikdash, plag hamincha. Neiros HaMikdash, they were allowed to light, or they did light from the time of plag hamincha, which is shah v'reviyah koydem hashkia, which is an hour and 15 minutes before Shkia. Now, the question is, if the Neiros HaChanukah is because of the Nes of what happened in the Neiros HaMikdash, especially whenever the Chacham Institute is based has a basis in Torah, so the time of when they lit should be the time that they light in the Beis HaMikdash. So why is it that the mitzvah is when the sun sets? So we have a number of questions over here. We brought down Machlekes between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. In Chanukah, do we start lighting from 8, 7, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And Beis Shammai says it's connected to Parei HaChag that in the Karbonos of Sukkot we go down, and therefore the same thing with Chanukah, we go down in numbers. And Beis Hillel says no, Malam Bakedesh v'Imridu. So the Alter Rebbe was medayik and asks, what's the connection between Chanukah and Parei HaChag? And the question is even stronger because the Tzemach Tzedek says that Beis Hillel only argues because of Malam Bakedesh, which means even Beis Hillel holds that Chanukah and Parei HaChag have a very, very deep connection. Now, other places say that both have 8, so we have to understand, why did Hashem make that both have 8? What's significant? Why? In other words, you're saying that Chanukah and Parei HaChag have both higher than say the Ishtalshlush, and the question is why. Another question is, we said that the purpose of the institution of Neiros Chanukah is because of Neiros HaMikdash. Now, in the Neiros HaMikdash, there were 7 candles, so there should be 7 candles in the Neiros HaMikdash. And also, we're saying that the connection between Neiros Chanukah and is to Parei HaChag Dafka. Now, Parei HaChag was on the Mizbeach. The Neiros was on the Menorah. They're different kelim, and they're different avodas in life. Also, the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah is Mishatishka Chama by Shkia. And Neiros HaMikdash, they lit from Plag HaMincha. So if Neiros Chanukah is because of the Nes of the Neiros HaMikdash, so we should be able to light the candles of Chanukah from Plag HaMincha. And why is it Dafka Mishatishka Chama? So that's the questions that Rebbe asks, and the Rebbe explains like this. Base. What's the explanation? The Inyanim. What is the idea of Neres Chanukah. The idea of Neres Chanukah is to light the darkness, to dispel the darkness, to light up the darkness. The Hanes the Chanukah Haya la'achrei shenichnasu hayavanim lahechol v'timu kol hashmana shebehechol. The Ness of Chanukah was after the Greeks went into the Heichel, the Beis HaMikdash, and they impurred all the oils in the Beis HaMikdash. Shatik beres hacheshech, ha'yavanim hoysa ad kedei kach, that the power of the cheshech of the Yavanim was so great. The leirak shenichnasu laheichel v'timu. Not only did they go ahead and enter in the Beis HaMikdash and were metam the entire Beis HaMikdash, elo shetimu gam es kol hashmana shebeichel. They were metame all the oil in the oil. Now, all the oil in the Beis HaMikdash. And the question is, what are they trying to bring out? Okay, so you're metame everything. B'stafka, they went into the shmanim, they went into the oil, and they made sure that every single one was pure. Why? So the Rebbe explains like this: the shemen ubchinas kodesh. Shemen is the level of holiness. Like the pasuk says, shemen mishchas kodesh. Shemen is an anointment of holiness. So in Chassidus, when we speak about Shemen, that speaks about the level of Kodesh, the level of holiness. Now, Kodesh is Mila Begarmi. Kodesh is like its own, the Zohar says, it's like its own word. B'dugmas Hashemen Shetzof Al Gabi Kol HaMashkin. It's like in Halacha brings down that oil, it will float on all liquids. It floats on top of all liquids, which means it soaks through all liquids. It floats on all liquids. However, but it will not become like intermingled with that. Which means shemen has its own entity. Now, what does that mean? This that movement from this is understood. This that the Yavanim or Metama, all the oils in the Heichel, it's negea even higher or even more so than being metame the heichel. Even though when you look at the 10 kedushas in the base when it comes to kedusha level, and the heichel is the highest, but the fact that they're metame dafka all the shmanim shebeichel, it's much more than just being metame the heichel. Ukedemucha gamizeh shegam la'achar shabo v'necho. Even after the Yidden came in and they were matar the Mikdash, nevertheless, in order for them to light the Menorah, it required a very, very big nes. First, they had a nes that they found this jug of oil which was sealed with the seal of the Kohen Gadol, which shows on Or Ein Sof Shalamayim Yishtashlus. This is a miracle that came from Or Ein Sof, which is higher than Yishtashlus. Shlagabe Erizeh, in regards to this light, Gam Cheshech Le'yachshech, even the darkness can make it dark. V'adrabah, on the contrary, Erizeh Me'eres HaCheshech, this light from Or Ein Sof illuminates the Cheshech. Shagam HaCheshech Yor, that also the darkness also starts to give light. V'havayeh B'teisus Vav, which is the level of Avaya, when you add the extra Vav, is Yegiya Chashki, lights up the darkness. And now we can understand why the mitzvah of lighting the Neres Chanukah is from when the sun sets, and not from Plag HaMincha. What's the purpose, what's the idea of the light of Neres Chanukah? Is to illuminate the darkness. And now we can understand the question why Neres Chanukah is dafka 8 days. The days of Chanukah, the Gemara says, is 8 days. 8, as we explained in Sif Aleph, shows on the level of higher than Seder Yishdashlus. Because dafka from the level of higher than Seder Yishdashlus, then we could illuminate the darkness. So we had a few questions that we asked in Sif Aleph, and now that we explained that the whole purpose of Chanukah is the Nekuda of Neres Chanukah is to illuminate the darkness, and the Ness of Chanukah came after the Yevanim came into the Heichel and they were Matama, all the Shemana Shebeichel, which shows that the darkness was so great that not only did they feel the need to mitam the heichel, but also the shmanan shebeichel. Now, shemen shows in the level of Kaddish. So the fact that they were going after a certain, we're going to explain right in the Maamar, they were going after a certain nekuda that bothered them very much about the Yidden, that's what they were going after. And as we see that even after their Matar Migdashacha, they needed to have a great ness of the ness of Chanukah, which was first to find this Pach Echad Shemen, which is Chosam B'Chosh Mishal Kain Gadol, which this is the level of Erin Seif, which is higher than Seder Yishtalshlus. And this level, even darkness, not only does not affect the light, but also it itself illuminates. And that's why the Ne'er Chanukah is Dafka Mishatishka Achama, because the purpose of Ne'er Chanukah is to be Meir the Choshech, and the Choshech is Dafka Mishatishka Achama, not Plaga Mincha, there's no Choshech there. Why is it 8? Because 8 shows on Seder Yishtalshlus, and Dafka from Seder Yishtalshlus does one have the ability to be Meir the Choshech. Gimel. So that's the idea in general of what the Ne'er Chanukah is and what is the holiday of Chanukah, is to light up the darkness, light up the Choshech of the world. Gimel. To understand this in Avedis Adam in our day-to-day life, so we'll understand by first prefacing what the Friedrich Rebbe writes. Why did the Yevanim feel the need to make impure all the oils in the Heichel? The entire war that the Yevanim were fighting was a spiritual war. They did not intend to hurt the bodies of the Yidden. What the Yevanim wanted to accomplish was that they should forget about the Torah and forget about that it's the Chukei Ritzinecha, it's the Chayk of the Eibishter. And even this, that they fought against Torah mitzvahs, as we explained, they didn't have a problem with the Yidden learning Torah, but it bothered them the godliness of Torah. The godliness, the fact that the Yidden are doing the mitzvahs, that it's the Eibishter's, the Elikus Shebedover, that's what bothered them. This is what it means, that they wanted to forget, make us forget your Torah, Torah Sechadavka, Shagam La Yevanim Ichbas Kol Kach Yisrael Yildu Torah. The Yevanim, it didn't bother them so much that the Yidden learned Torah. They wanted that the Yidden should learn Torah mitzad, the intellect of the Torah, which is ki chachmaschem uvinashchem leinei amim, which even the goyim understand that the Torah is a very, very intelligent book. V'chol ikar mechamasam ha'isa shebikshu la'ashkichem teresecha la'ashkiach chas v'sham v'sishol she'hatera yi teres havaya. They wanted that the Yidden should forget whose Torah was it that it's teres havaya. Now, so that's in regards to Torah. By mitzvahs as well. When it came to the mitzvah, they were against the godly part of the mitzvah. That the mitzvahs are the will of Hashem. This is what it means, that they wanted us to transgress the chukei ritzenecha, chukei dafke your chukim, v'ritzenecha dafke. Now, what does that mean? Chukei ritzenecha, la'aviram chukei ritzenecha. What does that mean? So he says like this. There's two explanations. Number one, shal mitzvahs the edus mishpatim. We have three types of mitzvahs. You have chukim, edus, and mishpatim. So in regards to edus and mishpatim, the yoyus mitzvahs yichlias, since they are mitzvahs they make sense al pi seichel, yiskimu gama yevanim. So the yevanim agreed to that. The entire war was fighting against the chukim of Torah. Because the whole reason of why we are fulfilling the chukim is because of the Ratzon Havaya. So that's what bothered them. It bothered them. They didn't like the fact that the Yidden are learning Torah mitzad. This is the Eibishter's Torah, the Elikus, and also that it bothered them. Number one, that the Yidden are fulfilling the chukim, which make no sense. Al pi seichel. The deeper explanation is that every single mitzvah has the choik in that mitzvah. In other words, even a mitzvah which is edus mishpatim has a part of edus in that mitzvah, and they wanted to take that out, and that the Yidden should only fulfill the mitzvah mitzad al pi seichel. We'll continue tomorrow.